What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the 10-day traffic challenge. The goal of this challenge is to push you out of your comfort zone and to start creating content. So I've already posted the official post. So let me show you what this looks like right now. So you can see I posted the post where you can go and post your 2 TikToks. Okay, so you'll notice here, if you go to this post in the group, everyone's starting to post their content. Okay, so this is where you want to post everything. Okay, so read the instructions on there. But the purpose of today's live, guys, is I want to bring to you guys a very special person. She's a super affiliate. I actually got to spend some time with her. We both got invited to Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels 2.0 launch. She's an amazing person, follower of Christ. I want to welcome to you guys Emily Walcott. What's going on, Emily?
Hey, thanks so much for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have you on here, especially kicking off day 1 of the challenge. But before we start, what are you going to be teaching us?
So the biggest thing for me is everyone, I feel like, misses this. They try to reinvent the wheel with their content, and a lot of times your message totally gets lost. You have to have a message that's not product focused. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about how you should be able to leave this session with 9 evergreen content ideas that all you have to do is every week go and plug in how you're going to put that same exact story, what kind of videos you're going to do with it. This is going to be good content that's going to get someone moving from being a critical viewer to an emotionally invested buyer. So that is kind of
Awesome.
exactly what I'm going to talk about. So like I was going to say, I'm kind of all over the place on social, and you should be too. So that's the biggest thing that I first want to say is you should be everywhere, right? Okay, you should be on all the different platforms. So when you're thinking about content, the biggest problem that I really see is everybody's so focused on product-based content. You don't need product-based content. That's not what they should see on your content. You have to remember that you cannot be giving them the product up front. Your content needs to be completely based on your story, okay? And so this part, the first thing that you need to do is when you look on your content, you should be looking for a couple things. Again, you're going to just go and open up your content. You're going to look at, kind of scroll up and down, and you're going to say, can I see these things from looking at my content? Within the first 3 videos, do people see these things, okay? So you're going to say, you want them to know, who is this about? Not, this is about someone that was broke that wants to make money, right? Okay, you don't want people to see this. You want them to know, who is this about? When someone looks at my content, I want them to know it's about me. I want them to know I'm a mom. I want them to know I have 3 girls. I want them to know what I look like, how I talk, my vibe, right? So the next part is, what is your problem? And this is a big issue for people, okay? So when you're looking, people are going to say, well, my problem is I'm broke. Well, everybody's kind of broke, right? Or everybody tends to struggle on one income, especially right now. So the biggest thing is, if you're looking here and all they're seeing is the problem is, I need to make more money, I don't have enough money, see ya, okay? They're out of there. If people were actually motivated by money, they already would be doing these things, right? Like me, if I was actually motivated, having an extra income, I would have excelled in the MLM that I did 3 years ago, right? I would have wanted to go to my job. You want to make sure that the problem is not just specific to you can make an extra income. That's not what people want. For me, the problem was I wanted to be at home with my girls, and I couldn't do that. Now, the way that was going to make that happen was making money somewhere, right? So you have to make sure that you're not taking this problem. It needs to be an emotionally charged problem that you're talking about. So you have to make sure that you're talking very, very specific to someone, okay? So who are you? Okay, what is your problem? What is your heart problem? What is your heart problem? And then why can't you solve that problem? So this is where people are going to really relate to you, okay? So this is the difference. Who are you? What is your problem? And why can't you solve the problem? So for me, I couldn't solve the problem because we were doing everything that we tried. We were budgeting, we were saving, we were working. My husband was working hundreds of hours, okay? So this is the problem. Why can't you solve that problem? So someone's going to go to my content and they're going to see who I am, what I'm about, what is my problem, and why can't I solve it on my own, okay? If we have all those things, they're going to be looking for what I have. If I told them, my name's Emily and my problem is I don't have any money and I can't solve it because I haven't found any other ways, so go check out my stuff. No, that is not what you want. You want someone to say, oh my gosh, like, I'm a mom too. And I completely relate to that struggle of wanting to be at home, but realizing like our income doesn't work. And I have tried to solve it every single way, and I can't do that. But then here's the last part. How does it end? What's the end point? So now that you've gotten who you are, what's the problem, why can't you solve the problem? And then what is the end point, right? So that's where you get them. The end point is I want to be at home with my kids. I want to be present with my children. The end point is I don't want another 9 to 5. I don't want another job. I want to make an income the easiest way possible, right? And I want to be able to scale that. What is the end point? The end point is I want to be able to help other people do that. So you do have to have that end point. But what people do is a lot of people do this. Again, they make their end point the money, about the money. That is not the biggest motivator. You have to find an emotional touch point in all these things. So when someone's looking at your content and they see these things and they connect with you emotionally, what that's going to do, it's literally going to give them a dopamine hit. It's going to calm their body. They're going to be invested in you, and they're going to want to go and they're going to want to binge your content. 9 times out of 10, when your videos are getting pushed out and your content is getting pushed out, you have to remember that when it's getting pushed out, people are not seeing all your other stuff. So this needs to be in almost every single one of your videos. So how do you do that in 5 to 7 second videos, right? How do we create that content that's going to be able to do that? So there's a couple things that you need to do with those things. So you need to have pain points. Okay, I'm sure you've heard this before, but there's a difference when you're talking about pain points, right? Okay, so with pain points, it can't just be, again, the same exact thing. So let's say someone, their pain point, let's say we're talking like different niche, health and fitness niche, right? And their pain point is I've gained weight. That pain point is going to be much different if you're saying I don't recognize myself. Just like if your pain point is I don't have enough money, people hear that all the time. Everybody doesn't have enough money. When is enough money, right? A pain point would be different of I'm so physically exhausted from looking at my bank account and not understanding why I don't have more in there. There has to be a different pain point. You have to think of your pain points. You have to think of your heart issues. And that's where it comes. You have to be able to be a little bit vulnerable so people can connect with you on a human level. They want human connection. Okay. You have to think of your content as your own reality TV show. And that is going to help them to go and trust you like no one trusts, right? They're going to be able to do that much quicker when you have these things in your content. So pain points, the next thing is experiences. So you're going to want to give people experiences. So when you're doing pain points, again, this is like where you kind of do your really short 5 to 7 second videos of a pain point. Like I never thought I'd be 32 having my Wi-Fi turned off, right? That's more you're talking about a pain point and the money. The experience is where you're going to kind of build that out. So an experience would be like the grocery store, for example. Have you ever been to the grocery store or at the checkout and you have a budget and you have to give those groceries back? Have you ever done that? Have you ever experienced that? That feeling that you have that you're like, oh my gosh, like budget has hit. I have other groceries and I'm going to have to give these back because I know that if I don't do that, I'm going to go negative, right? That's an experience. And someone who's understood that and been through that and that experience is going to connect with you. They're going to instantly understand you. Instant like no trust factor, right? You have to make sure you're shifting from talking about what you did to what experiences made you go do that. So the next part is, again, results. So everyone wants to share big results they want to talk about. Again, this. Everyone is so focused on that. Or they want to tell you that you're going to get that from your product. My result is I went and took this course and I went from 0 to 6 figures in 5 months, right? That sounds great. Those were my results. And I can make 100 videos, but those videos are not going to convert. So I hear so many beginners say this, oh, I just can't do it because I don't have numbers to share. I don't have results. Again, you don't have to have that. You can literally say, I was just finally so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was so physically exhausted at the end of the day and I still couldn't have that connection with my kids because I was worried about my budget. So I decided I'm going to do something about it. If you're at that point too, follow my journey. You don't always have to be pointing people to the product. And even in your result, okay? And if you are going to do results, please don't discount that. Again, you're constantly going back to who I am and what's important to me and how I'm solving the problems. And that has nothing to do with saying, I've made this, I'm going to do this, you should do this too. Okay, so I'm going through all these things and wrap this up in a nice little bow. When you're making content, it should be your daily life. It should be your content, should be you doing what you do normally. In your content, you need to pick one thing to focus on. So you're gonna have past, you're gonna have present, and you're gonna have future. So you can write this down on a piece of paper. And what you're gonna do under all these things is you're gonna do exactly what I just told you. You're gonna write down a pain point, you're gonna write down an experience, and you're gonna write down a result. So pain point, experience, result, pain point, experience, result. Okay, so if you can see, that's 9 pieces of content. So if you're on here and you're saying, what is something from the past that's a pain point? Okay, so we can pick something like, for me, it was my husband working 70 hours. Okay, that was a pain point. He missed everything, right? It was kind of like being a single parent at the beginning. So you want to do a pain point from your past, okay? And then you want to do an experience. Experience was that moment you're all ready to go out on a date night and you have to cancel because your husband doesn't show up because he's stuck at work, right? That's like an experience. So missed a date night. Okay, and then a result is we go on date nights weekly now because we can afford them, and my husband doesn't have to pick up overtime. So weekly date nights. From my past, I have a pain point, I have an experience, and I have a result. So with this, did I talk about a product? Did I talk about a course? Did I talk about learning affiliate marketing? No. I gave you 3 things that emotionally connect you to me, and then you're gonna wanna find out what I did to make that happen. You're gonna find out what I did. You're going to be so compelled by the storytelling aspect. You're going to be so compelled by these 3 emotional touch points that you're going to want to know. You are going to be dying to know what I did to be able to make this happen, right? So this right here, the working 70 hours a week, that is content. So what you're going to do next is you're going to kind of figure out, so you're going to go through this, all of these. For example, with present. So a pain point is other moms that I see struggling that want to be at home. That is a pain point in my present, is seeing other moms who are so afraid to try this, who don't want to risk looking silly, or they don't want to fail again. Okay, that is a pain point. An experience in the present, you know, for me, a big experience was I was able to tithe more than my mortgage. Like, what a blessing to be able to do that, right? That was such an experience for me the first time we did that. We're like, oh my gosh, this is unreal. I just had a light bulb moment. My experience right now in this moment is I realized, like, I am done working for someone else. Okay, that's present. Because in the past, you were still stuck in that. You didn't want to move forward, right? But now in the present, you're done doing that. You're changing your life. Those could be your experiences, right? But what are the results from that? Okay, for me, the results are I'm showing my daughters, now that I've taken that step, right? I'm showing my daughters that you can change your life. I'm showing my daughters that if you want to be different and you want to be outside the norm, that's possible. That's a result, right? Another result is obviously you can do things like I'm more confident in myself. I am pushing myself every single day to do something different, to show up, to stay consistent. Okay, that's a result. People want the story. They want these things, and then they're going to be so compelled by that story to go find whatever it is that you did to change your life. Okay, that's where they should go and find your product. This is where they're going to find your story, and your story should be enough to motivate them to move forward. Okay, so you're going to go and you're going to do this. So you're going to write down past, present, future. And again, you can keep these the same for the next 3 months and just go recreate the content that you created, right, before about these things. Okay, there's a couple different types of content that you can do. The other part of that is a lifestyle video. So your content should be your everyday life. Film yourself doing your everyday things. If you leave every morning to go to a 9 to 5, film that. If you are getting coffee every morning, film that. Do something that's going to show somebody what you're doing. That is a lifestyle post, right? So either you're going to do a talking post or a lifestyle post. So I'm going to go and I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be a lifestyle post. This is going to be a lifestyle post. Since it's about my daughters, maybe I'll film my daughters. Okay, this is going to be a wide open net post. Okay, and then you're going to have kind of like the trendy. I'm going to make this one trendy. I'm going to make this one trendy. I'm going to make this one talking. I'm going to make this one lifestyle. I think this is the last one that I have. And I'm going to do a wide open net post. If you find a trending sound, and you think it's trending, right? Or if you see a sound that keeps popping up in your feed, you're gonna say, oh, I'm gonna use that and I'm gonna go talk about this pain point about other moms. Boom, done. There's your content. Every single day, you can either, on a Sunday, you can go through, write all this down, and you can create these videos. You can switch your clothes and you can create all 9 of these videos. Then next Sunday, you can go and create all 9 of those videos again. You have to remember, like, you don't have to go through and recreate the wheel because your content is being pushed out to new people every single time. You want to be repetitive. Do you understand if someone went to your site and you're talking about leaving a 9 to 5, and then the next video you're talking about being like wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, and then you go and talk about wanting retirement? Do you see how confusing that is? They want to know your story and they want it to be repetitive. You should be telling the same exact story every single day. And if you're not telling your story enough. And then if you get bored because content is hard and you need to stay consistent and you're having kind of a block, you're going to go through and you're going to erase all these things and you're going to fill them back out. And that's how you're going to redo that. There's 18 pieces of content. All you need to do is you need to go and do those 9 things, fill them out, and talk about them repetitively in your video. 9 evergreen posts. Don't be so focused on go here, go take this, go do that. This is how I did it. They are going to want to find that if you're telling them the story that is going to motivate them to get there.
Right, exactly. And then people think that when they tell their story over and over, like people are gonna like get bored with it. Well,
yeah.
My mentor, Russell Brunson, he talks about his stories all the time, even 15 years later, because that's your master story. That's you. Don't think that people are gonna get bored of it. Like people are just gonna understand who you are and gonna have that know, like, and trust factor. So I love how you broke it down.
Yeah, so many people think I don't have a story. If you're here, you have a story. There's a reason you're trying to change something, and that is someone's going to relate to that. I mean, there's a billion people on these platforms. So many people get scared to share that. And then once they do, it's so freeing because you find your people, you find your target audience because you're sharing the real, authentic you. Your story is so powerful, whatever it is. But once you really get down to why you want those things and you share that, that's when you're going to find your people. You want a call to action always at the end of your video, each video, correct? Okay, so this is, a lot of people see like you have to have a call to action, but what they do is they constantly focus on like, go to that link in bio and go to that link in bio. I do have calls to action, but 9 times out of 10, if I'm doing that, my calls to action are going to be something like drop a heart below or if you agree, because like I said, they're going to binge your content and they're going to eventually figure out where to go, especially if you just have that one link that's there. So I think you need to focus more on telling them to follow your journey or getting them engaged in the comment section. And then you can kind of put that call to action down there because the people who really want it will go and find it. People are so focused on that, they will go and find it. You need to have that there, but have it more of an engaging call to action, not a go figure out my link in my bio. I know a lot of people are going to ask this one. It says, what kind of content do you post when you're just starting out and haven't made any commissions yet? People say this all the time. You're like, I just don't know what to do. First, you need to find your target client. You need to find your targeted audience. And then you need to say, what do they need besides the product that I'm promoting? So for me, if I'm promoting something about learning how to do affiliate marketing and I want to create content and I'm talking to a stay-at-home mom, 9 times out of 10, they're doing it because they're struggling at one income. So what else do they need to know? They need to know about budgeting. They need to know about saving. They need to know about apps maybe that they can use to help them at the grocery store. I want to give my audience value. I want them to feel heard and understood. And so I'm going to think about what else do they need to better their lives outside of the product that I am promoting. How often should you post? I think that people get so focused on the number and when to post. So for me, you have to remember, again, think about your targeted client. If you're focusing on posting to someone who wants to leave their 9 to 5, you probably shouldn't post only during the day because they're busy working. So post early in the morning so that they see it, if they probably check their socials before they go into work, and then post at night. If you're talking to the retirement community, 9 times out of 10, they don't check their phone until they're sitting on the couch at night. Post 2 at night. Figure out who that target client is and post when they're going to be available. For me, for moms, it's usually late mornings and then it's like after bedtime. So you really should focus on your ideal client and don't get so focused on how many times should I post and when should I post. Post daily and post consistently. Should affiliates be following each other? I have a lot of thoughts on this and I'm curious if you're like the same on this, but for me, when you're building organically and you don't want to do ads and things like that, again, I've never done a single one. You're building organically. Following other affiliates, they're telling a follow for a follow. All you're doing is you're putting yourself in front of someone else who's doing the same exact thing you're doing. Is that your target client? No, they're already doing it. So it really does, for me, I do not do that. I really discourage people to do a follow for a follow. You want to learn how to build organically. And if that's how you're trying to get your followers, it's going to mess up your algorithm. I like this one. Is it okay to mimic other videos in the same niche? Here's the deal. If someone made a video that went wild and you remake it, your chances of having it go wild are lower. Okay, what people are doing is they're finding things earlier, but if you put your own story in there, that's going to convert better. I think it's
Yeah.
good for people to do that, to feel confident, and you're so worried about creating that content, so go find. But if you're going to do that, make sure you're finding a video where you relate to the person that is creating that video, and when
Mhm.
you recreate it, just make sure the next couple videos are really emotionally heavy. I had a TikTok that had less than 200 followers, and I had a video that had 200 views, and I had 10 comments on there, and I converted 9 out of 10 of those people.
Wow.
Whereas I can have another video that hits 40,000 views and a ton of comments, and I am not converting that at that rate because I did a video like, do you realize these programs will let you promote? Okay, because
Mhm.
people are seeing that. You want to stand out. Your story will stand out. So I think that if you're going to do that, you need to add something else in there, and it's okay. And that's kind of those wide net open videos, which is a great traffic driver. But if you're not converting and that's all you're doing, you're going to have to drive way more traffic than someone else that can convert that 9 out of 10.
Love that. Perfect. Anyways, make sure to follow her, guys. I'm going to pull it up one more time.
I'm on Facebook,
Okay.
M Walcott, and then on every other platform, I'm M the affiliate. Everywhere else.
Emily, thank you so much.
See ya.
And we'll talk soon. God bless.
Okay. Bye.
All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I just want to answer some questions about the challenge itself. If you guys have any questions on how to post inside the challenge, how to get that momentum going, let's take a few minutes here. How important is the description of TikTok and the use of hashtags? The hashtags aren't really as important. The reason I'm having you do the hashtags is so I can go back and see who's participating. But anyways, basically what I do is I will just do a quick description, 1 or 2 sentences of what the video is about, but not a big deal either way. Best way to repurpose. Hey, great question, man. So I use repurpose.io. I use this software because it's automated, right? So you'll notice here, if I post a video on YouTube, it'll then go to Pinterest, Facebook Reels, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, okay? If you don't want to pay for this, that's like 25 bucks a month. You could simply go to snaptik.app, and basically you could download your TikTok video for free without the watermark and then just re-upload it manually. So you don't have to pay for the software. I use the software because I don't have to spend my time doing that, okay? So hopefully that helps, man. Is Duet a platform function? Yeah, it's a platform function. Great question. So you can actually go and you go to the video and then you tap on the little dots or share. It'll say Duet. If you're on Instagram, it's Remix, okay? Question on repurpose, do I have to add the sound? No, it'll just post the original video on the other platform. So the repurpose will do it for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys got value in this training. I hope you guys enjoyed Emily. I really learned a lot myself. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and God bless.